All right, Rob, how do you build a house if you don't have a foundation?
You don't, Sheryl, because you can't. You don't.
You can't put up the studs. You can't put in the beams. You can't put the toilet in your house unless you have a foundation. So today, you know what we're talking about, right?
We are the 4 pillars.
The 4 pillars to networking. So this is for you. This is for your team. This is for people to share so that we all get better. If you don't get these 4 pillars in your belly, you're going to be in trouble.
You're on the treadmill. You're
That's
just going
right.
to keep on walking and no results. You're not going to go anywhere, Sheryl.
Welcome to Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
making money.
faster. So I'm Sheryl Powers.
I'm Rob Bliss.
And this is so pivotal. This is really important. And I know we kind of take you back to basics, but let me tell you, I had 2 conversations already this week, and it's only Monday, with people who I still think they're not getting it. They're not getting it. So the 4 pillars are, you want to tell us what we're going to start with?
Okay, we're going to start with number 1, building your community.
Building your community is really important. So when we were kind of fleshing these out, and by the way, we did talk about them during the conference. So you heard about 4 pillars. They're the same 4 pillars. We just renamed them a little. So the first one is building your community. And that's by finding networks, the right people, and doing that correctly.
And you know, what it talks about too is that your network is your net worth.
It is indeed.
So building that community is just so important, Sheryl.
It is. And we're going to take you then into the next pillar, which is?
Pillar number 2 is building relationships.
So building relationships, what is the number one thing, the first thing that comes to your mind, Rob, about building relationships?
I think for me, Sheryl, it's really being authentic, true to yourself, and then finding the people that you connect with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I think it's in the one-on-one, right? When you're building your community, you're building that relationship. So you met them through the community,
right? Okay.
Then the magic happens in the one-on-one.
Oh, absolutely. Good point. The one-on-one so critical, that where you can drill down, spend some time, ask a lot of good questions.
Yep. Then pillar number 3.
Pillar number 3 is building trust.
So how do you build trust if you're out glad handing and you're doing 10 networking events a week and you've got another dozen one-on-ones? How do you build quality trust with somebody, Rob?
I think the number one thing is to break it down just a few words. Say, do the right thing. You know, if you do the right thing, that means people will then trust you and giving you clients to work with, new leads, ask you to do special things for them. By doing the right thing, they can count on you.
That count on. So being timely, being the person that you say you're going to be, making sure that you're on time for meetings, making sure that you make the phone call you say you're going to making sure that you make sure you get the referral out, right? Those are all ways to build trust.
Absolutely. It's also, kind of showing that by caring.
Right.
By being sincere.
That's right.
When people can see that through you.
So the reason we want to talk about these 3 pillars and now the 4th, which is?
Number 4 is building your message.
This is the marketing component.
Yes.
This is a really important wrap on the 4 pillars. And the reason we want to talk about the 4 pillars generally, right? Because this is going to help you build your foundation. The next 4 weeks following this week, we're going to break down each pillar and give you in less than 20 minutes some very specific to-dos, task action oriented items for each one of the pillars so you get it into your belly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? If we do things, how many days and then it becomes a habit?
21 days.
21. You're 21. I heard 90. Then somebody said 60.
I've heard 66.
I know that somebody told me. So, okay. Let's say 60. Okay.
There you
Let's say at least 60. If you do things for 60 days, then it becomes habit forming. And you no longer have to keep going back to, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we're here to help you do. So let's go back to the beginning here, right? The building your community. I want to touch on just a couple of top line areas that you think are really important. If this is the only episode you get, if you don't make it to next week, so for some reason you forget, if you don't make it there, I want you to remember these 2 key points for building your community.
Well, I've got 3 key points for you today.
Ooh.
Bonus. Number 1 is use your community for support.
Okay.
Use your community for encouragement and use your community for accountability.
That's right. That's right. Well, and I think those are really good philosophical ways to build the community. Now I'm going to give you the tactical ways to build the community. And the tactical ways are go find a networking group and make sure you find the right networking group. And the only way to find the right networking group is to go to the networking group with the criteria in hand that you're looking for. Is it B2B? Is it B2C? Is it, are they C-level professionals? Is it in my budget? Mm-hmm. That's a big deal.
That's a big one.
I mean, as people are kind of pinching pennies. So those are some of the ways to find your community. So develop your criteria, know what you're going in it for, and make sure that it meets that criteria, because feel free to say no.
Oh, absolutely. So important. You could spend thousands of hours going from networking group to networking group. And, we got to kind of plug the mid-market professionals calendar that you post, Sheryl, that can really help our audience kind of narrow that down a lot quicker.
Yes. And so the mid-market professionals is all under the Empowered Advantage. So it's my Empowered Advantage calendar, and you see it at the letter M, poweredadvantage.com. You'll see DFW networking events, and you'll see all of those there. And that's a great way to begin to sift and sort. It's a dating process.
Yeah.
And you don't date everybody all at once and then love everybody all at once and then marry everybody all at once. There's going to be just a couple of key relationships. So I was telling somebody today, and we'll dive more into this strategically next week, but be careful while you're building your community. Don't overcommit before you really determine you should commit.
Right.
Or you find yourself time or money bankrupt, or both.
And I think too is you got to watch too is it's not quantity, it's quality.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out there and get 1,000 people out there.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I began my LinkedIn journey, it was, to try to get as many thousands of people on my LinkedIn to look good. But right now I'm kind of reversing that direction. Now I'm taking people off that I don't know who the heck they are.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
So yes, it really got to specialize, or you got to emphasize the quantity, quality, not quantity.
That's right. So pillar number 2, touching on the building the relationships. So these are the one-on-ones is a component of building that relationship.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I mean, the one-on-one really is the key, and I don't think that we spend enough time. And we've talked about it a couple times in our podcast, which I encourage the audience to look at. But this is something, Sheryl, I try to prepare for. Number 1, mm-hmm. Number 2 is seek other ideas of try to make my one-on-ones more productive.
Yeah.
So number one is prepare my questions. And number 2 is what value am I bringing to that person who's spending that time with me?
Yeah, do a little bit of research. It takes 30 seconds. 30, I promise. So go to LinkedIn, take a look at where they went to school, a quick brief on their work history, and then do a quick Google search and see other things that they might have done. So you could be in the car, and before it even heats up to 127 degrees, you can already have a good scoop on who this person is that you're going to meet, and that gets you ahead of the game. All right, so pillar number 3, building trust.
Building trust, when you first say that, it's like, it reminds me of a book I'm reading, and it's How to Get It plus How to Keep It. And you're transferring relationships when you're diving deep into building that trust factor. And again, I try to simplify that because it's kind of a, like you said earlier, a philosophical topic, but it's finding people that you can count on, mm-hmm. that they're going to do the right thing mm-hmm. for you. And I think again I because we talk about it so much around I get kind of concerned. I want to do my best. I don't want to drop the ball, And so, there's a lot of pressure on you. But again, it's simplify it by saying just doing the right thing.
Yes. Doing the right thing. And so the tactical side of me, I'm very action driven. I want a task. So the action item here would be follow through on the list that you made during your one-on-one. Go back, review it, and deliver everything you promised.
Right.
So I promise you, if you're having a one-on-one with me and you tell me you're going to refer me to somebody, I write that name down.
Yeah.
Hey, I do. And I'm looking for it. And if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna bust you up for it, but I'll be thinking about it. So follow through, and a great tech tool for that is a good CRM.
Yes.
Start with HubSpot, do the free version, and you can start there. I think that's a good one. And wrapping this up is the message. Right. So building your message.
Yeah, absolutely. Component. I think that's important because, your message matters. Mm-hmm. Whether we own our own company, whether we work for somebody, we've got to brand ourselves. We've got to be able to stand out in the crowd. And, I just think it's so, so important. And again, we've got to get that foundation. And I think this is like you said earlier, this is the marketing aspect, but building the brand, learning things like your elevators pitch.
That's right. The Super Bowl commercial, which is what you like to call it.
That's right. Exactly. And, and that's the tactic that you're going to be going into as we go through these, building pillars through the next 3-4 weeks. But that the Super Bowl commercial is so critical when you go to a networking event.
Yeah.
So, it's so important, build your brand because you matter.
But I'm going to go back to the Super Bowl commercial because it can't just be any Super Bowl commercial. So this is one of the things I've been talking to fairly newer networkers about. It has to be strategic. So the aim small, miss small. I'm going to go back to the Patriot movie, right? Mm-hmm. Go watch it with Mel Gibson. I thought that was such a beautiful life lesson. So aim small, miss small. So the smaller your target, the more likely you are to hit it. And I say that because your Super Bowl commercial should be very specific on who you want to meet and what it is that you do. It can't be general. I can help everybody with everything all the time.
Right.
So please refer me, everybody right? It'll never happen. Those are the people who are like, I never get any referrals. But when I just personally went to my message being, here's who I help. I can help the big ones. I can help the small ones, anywhere in between. But here's who I love to help based on my history and my experience. Locally owned small businesses with 5 to 20 employees who are either W-9, meaning 1099 contractors, or a hybrid of W-2, W-9.
Right.
They're either offered nothing or they can't afford to take advantage of what's being offered. When I started that, then all of a sudden, people like, I know somebody with a contractor group, right? I know a real estate agent, broker who's got agents who need stuff, right? They need benefits. So I just say that because the marketing message, it takes time sometimes, but bounce it off of your pals.
Absolutely. And, Sheryl, too, that reminds me as well, is that, you need to find out and study hard on what is your unique selling proposition.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many insurance agents out there. There's so many technology people out there that you've got to hone in there. And just what you said, you've got to spend time, bring the whiteboard out.
Yeah.
Block your time out for 2 hours and nail this thing down.
Yeah.
But you've got to find that unique part of what you sell, what you stand for.
Yeah. In radio, we called it the USP, unique selling position.
There you go.
So your USP.
Yes.
And it should marry. And we're going to talk a lot more about this at the end of the series. So this is a 5-week series. This is just an overview of the 4 pillars. And then in each of the subsequent weeks, we're going to have one of each of the pillars, right? And it circles back around because when you go to the brand, you're building your message, right? And your Super Bowl commercial, it should match your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It should match your website. Mm-hmm. It should match your business card.
Right.
Because then when you go to a networking group and you're building your community, now it all starts making sense.
Yeah.
So they don't have to go, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, but I do this and I've got this card for this. And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So really building that message will help everything else, just like that foundation, right? You're walking all 4 corners and then you start over.
Yeah.
Because it continues to circulate all the way around and everything stronger for it.
Absolutely.
So build your house for the storms of life by getting these 4 pillars of networking down into your belly.
This is huge. I think if people kind of back off, slow down a little bit, and really think about where they want their networking to take them. Mm-hmm. Or if they're saying to themselves, my networking is not working, well, let's do something about it. So stop and let's get back to basics and get back to the 4 pillars.
That's right. And get you a lean, mean, fighting machine, networking fool. Right? Yeah. I want you to be like, you get this stuff down. So it's just automatic. So I'm super excited about where this is going to take us.
Absolutely.
And we certainly want to hear from you. Right. So please comment down below. So if you're watching this through YouTube, if you actually happen to go on our website, it's info@networktodaydfw.com. And we're going to be doing some really fun stuff too.
Great stuff.
So just stay tuned and please like and subscribe. Will you do that for us? Like and subscribe on YouTube because we are building the channel.
Yes.
If you like anything, just even one pearl you got from this, then please hit the like button. Would you do that for us? All right. So, Rob, you excited about the next 4 weeks?
Man, I am pumped up, Sheryl. This is awesome stuff.
I know you're pumped. You are pumped, my friend.
All right, here we go.
To being pumped about the 4 pillars. All right, so Sheryl Powers.
Rob Bliss.
This is Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
making money
faster. We'll see you next week.